here at the Pacific Northwest Conference. This is Charlie Plyben, Oregon Field Manager, and let's just start here. I'm with Staj Pace, but let's start. Staj, why don't you tell me your name, who you are, what chapter you're from, and how long you've been with Surfrider Foundation.
All right. I'm Staj Pace, or Staj Pace, and I am with the Portland chapter. I'm the chair for this year, 2011-2012. I joined Surfrider, 4 years ago, I believe, over 4 years ago. It was actually an ex-boyfriend who was a big surfer, and we were living in Costa Rica, and he was like up for his membership, and he was buying it on the computer, and he was like, you should buy one too, and so I did. And then, yeah.
All right, so ex-boyfriend convinces you to buy a membership. You know, 4 or 5 years later, you're living in Portland. You're the chair of the Portland chapter, not just a member, you're a leader now. Helped implement a very successful Ban the Bad campaign. So lots happened. Tell me, you know, if you can quickly, how did you go from boyfriend convincing you to be a member to a leader in Portland?
Well, so while we were down there in Costa Rica, I just fell in love with the ocean. I'm from Colorado, landlocked, but fell in love with the water and the waves, and I've always been really into garbage and making art out of garbage. So was picking up trash on the beach all the time and just was appalled at how much of it there was, just constantly, continually, every day. There was more and more, and we were living on a nationally protected park for leatherback turtles, and so it was like closed to the public after 5, and there was no houses or town for miles and miles, and it was just astonishing, like, where is it all coming from? And so just started to get asked those questions of like, well, how is this beach being covered in garbage if no one's even here, and are all of them like this all over the world? And so when I moved back to Portland, I didn't have a job yet. I was unemployed, and the economy had tanked, and I just wanted to get involved in my community and do more. And I went to a Surfrider meeting, and they had some ways to get involved and engaged, and it was really fun. I went and tabled at a few events. I had met some really cool people. I got a t-shirt, and I just had a lot of fun, and I was like, wow, I want to keep doing this. It's like, it was contagious. You got one person involved, and then you felt like you made a change, and I kept doing it. I'm still here doing the same thing years later.
So you know, you've done so much here for the chapter and so much for the organization, and you've kind of, you know, you did take a leap though. You know, it was from just an ordinary, everyday volunteer who was engaging a little bit more, and a little bit more, and then became a leader. So can you tell me at all about kind of like, how did that happen? How do you go from like just a volunteer to somebody who's in a leadership role where other volunteers are looking up to you?
I think that's a little bit of a character trait. You know, you kind of have that personality or you don't. But just the wanting to inspire other people and just wanting there to be someone, you know, in charge that was helping. Like, we had a great chapter chair before me, and he was stepping down. His 2 years was up, and we didn't have a ton of people jumping up. You know, it's a big role, and people get a little intimidated, even though we have so many fabulous volunteers. And I just wanted to see more things happen. I wanted to see more organization, more events, and it was kind of like, well, I can talk about it all day, but if I'm not going to act, then what am I here doing if I'm not actually, you know, doing it and helping other people? So
awesome. Taking
that next step, that's how you learn, you know, that's how you make change and you learn personally and professionally, my own personal development for sure.
So what would you say to people out there who may be watching this or just thinking about, maybe I'll get a membership this year, maybe I'll go to a Surfrider chapter meeting or an event, you know, like what would you say to those folks to try and encourage them to get involved?
I think that's the first step, is making that commitment and saying, you know what, I am going to donate a tiny amount of money to this organization that collectively, once everyone does donate that little bit of money, can make a huge change, and you're doing it for something that's greater than yourself. We're doing it for, you know, for our oceans and for our beaches that we care about so that we can play in, and maybe our kids and our family, but for all the other future generations too. I mean, you go out your back door, or you go to any beach, I mean, stuff's changing pretty quickly, and we want to help preserve it. I mean, we have to join together, and by making a tiny little donation, if you can have an impact, like I said, collectively, then let's just do it. I mean, what's holding you back?
All right. Thanks so much,
Yep.
Staj. Anything else you want to say?
No, just thank you and sign up today.
All right. Thanks, Staj.